You are listening to episode 3 of Quarantakes. On this episode, we're going to be talking about how to digest information related to COVID-19. And joining us is the multi-talented social media wizard and founder of Empathy and Me, Lesley and Paris. Enjoy.
Fine, let's go from there. And then talking about that's like you can't.
First, I was showing her nanny this one post I saw, and it was a picture of it was an animated picture of it was a drawn picture of a nurse, and then on one side it was like a bunch of hands clapping, but then the nurse's face.
Oh, just show it, man.
Oh yeah, I'll just show it. That's true. But I have to trying to verbally explain it. So you can see it.
Was it on Instagram?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
Just send it to the group and I'll share my screen.
Oh yeah, you could.
Yeah, just send it to me. All right, so you're saying, okay. So Aaron, you just shared me this photo. Oh, let me get it. Where is it? This.
Yeah.
What were you talking about?
Yeah, I was I wanted to understand it more, right? Because I'm people are this hits me so hard, and there's a part of me that's I don't get it as much. I want to get the whole content behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm what's the backstabbing side? Is it society backstabbing them, or is it the government that's backstabbing them? You know what I mean?
I feel like there's two reasons to that. One is it could possibly be the fact that this is amazing, blah blah. Thank you, frontline healthcare workers, for doing your job, all that stuff, right? And in the meantime, when there isn't a pandemic, these people are, trying to sue us, trying to, just super upset and kind of just being real assholes. We've been verbally and physically abused by patients too, right? Mm-hmm. And it's completely unreasonable, right? And then now that this whole pandemic is happening, it's oh, thank you for all your work. You know what I mean? So that could be one thing. Another thing too is everyone's clapping, yay, right? It's kind of the whole prayers kind of situation where it's I pray for, praying for the mass shooting or whatever that's happened, right? But there's nothing actually being done, and we're going to work unprotected. Bro, I come to work, they give me 2 masks for the whole day.
What? That's crazy. That's scary.
That is wild. That's a lot. That's a lot. So you're saying it's bare thoughts and prayers culture, and not much action, kind of thing from people.
Exactly.
I hear that. Well, a nanny. Well, let us know who you are, because this is the first time you're on the pod.
Sorry, what?
Let us know who you are. Who are you, and how do you know the people here?
Oh, okay, yeah. My name is Hernani Sagra. I know a majority of the people here that are from Gans. Also, I work as a registered nurse at a certain hospital. Can't really disclose it because I guess this is going online, right? So
yeah. You don't want to expose
this there. Yeah, but I've known Aaron since elementary school. I've known Liban and Lane from Crump Movement back in the days when we used to Crump. Yeah. And it was back when Bravehearts was let's battle against the was it West End Mans?
Or the East End guys, that's what it was. Oh
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But and then we became friends. And that's how it worked.
Yeah, I would say her nanny's my Ken.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just got that.
Right? How you guys can call out each other on all your BS, but it's real. It's a real friendship. Her nanny, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the few.
It's like family almost. It's like a family.
Basically.
Exactly. I'll call you on your shit, but it's all love.
Family.
Basically.
I feel that. That's dope. So thanks for bringing that up, because today we wanted to talk about how we take in information during this time about COVID, or about just about COVID and everything around it, right? So whether it's a vaccine, whether it's how you stay safe, whether it's how many people are affected, all the information that we're getting, whether it's a conspiracy or just all the stuff we're getting, right? I think I wanted to kind of talk about that today. And like we were kind of talking about that in the group chat, and it made sense. And so yeah, I found that a really, really cool thing to start with. And as a nurse, like let's just kind of let's like let you keep going, Nanny. So as a nurse, so like how else do you kind of feel about maybe the information being put out there versus what's happening on the ground for you?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny because like, you know, like majority of the information that's coming out, the politicians and all those people that are saying a lot of things, like to be honest with you, this is like this is an incredible like government like disaster. Like it is like, how should I say this? It is like the worst managed pandemic I've ever seen in my whole life.
Is it the worst managed pandemic?
Yeah.
Compared to all others?
Yeah. Like a good example would be like Vietnam or like other like Asian countries or in that area in general, is that the pandemic, it's funny because there was actual guidelines by when the the Ebola virus came out in Africa, right? There was clear guidelines by the Obama administration to be like, this is how you deal with a pandemic. Because we know that if it was to ever come in light of the situation, that there is a virus that mutates and is incredibly contagious, that like we would be screwed. So they made these clear guidelines, right? And the good thing about it was that, not the good thing, but the unfortunate thing, but kind of like what could have happened was China started. It was first China, right? And all the countries were kind of like, whatever, you know, it's going to stay in China and that's it. That's not as bad as everyone thinks it is. And everybody downplayed this. And this is the problem with a lot of the misinformation that's happening, is that there's a lot of downplaying when it comes to this virus. And I'm saying that it's serious, obviously like serious to the point where it's like you should be concerned, but not panicking, right? And every measure that could have been used to prevent such a scenario of an outbreak in the community was not done. You know what I mean? Like the Trump administration completely disregarded how to properly handle a pandemic. Same with Trudeau too. Like the fact that maybe 500,000 to 50 million, I don't know what the numbers are, of N95 masks that were expired. They found that it was expired while this pandemic happened, was kind of screwed up. You know what I mean? Like you're having like frontline workers working with 2 masks a day, right? Some hospitals literally like rationing gowns so that, you know, they can have enough gowns for the next person. Like we're a first world country. This should never have happened. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because this is the first pandemic we've had in there's a bunch of epidemics that's happened, and so hopefully we would know how to I hear what you're saying. Like I feel like I don't know too much about how to deal with pandemics versus epidemics and how we prepared and stuff like that, but it sounds like we didn't do too much, and that's kind of unfortunate. Wait, Liban, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I was saying it almost, hearing Hernani's perspective, considering he works in a hospital, it almost sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because it's like, what the Wuhan incident happened maybe like started December, maybe like late October, right? And you know, our government was like, yeah, don't worry about it, like it's gonna be fine. We're monitoring like the stuff. But now we're finding out, some doctors are saying that in Italy, like the virus actually was in Italy since November. So that means that this virus had a chance to multiply and spread to so many different places without us knowing it, right? And right then and there, like that should have been like the marker. Like what happened in Wuhan was like people were getting pneumonia, like viral pneumonia.
Oh.
And there was like multiple people getting it. So people were like, what's happening, right? And that was the first question. Now there could be like a bunch of like conspiracy theories about this whole thing or whatever, but the main thing is that there was this viral pneumonia that was happening to a lot of people at the same time. right then and there, they could have figured out, okay, this is some kind of, viral spread, right? Some kind of like outbreak, right? And then from there, the doctors should be like all across the world should be at least monitoring this, right? But the government's been so reactive rather than proactive, which is why we've reached a point where we have to self-isolate and quarantine ourselves.
I feel you. That's crazy to think about. You know what I mean? That's like, I don't even know what to say. That's like wild to think.
Yeah, and then the problem too with the misinformation that's happening is that like people who are spreading the information, it's bad because it's like the information that these people are doing, like even politicians, for example, right? One person was spreading out like a news channel. I think it was like a local news channel in like Missouri or like Oklahoma or whatever, right? Where they were saying that doctors are falsifying the death certificates, right, of people who are dying of corona. So they're completely downplaying this virus, right, because of the reactions that are happening in New York and all this stuff, right? But the problem is that these people who are sharing it don't really have a healthcare knowledge or like healthcare expertise, right? And so what's happening is that all this information, the conspiracies, all of this stuff, people are literally downplaying this virus. And that's probably why you see a lot of people just being like, screw it. Like, this is like fighting against our freedom and whatnot. Let me go out and let me enjoy myself, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, because it's like, okay, I'm going to admit, thank you. Like, I think you've given us a lot to think about and talk about right now. Like,
yeah.
That's like I have like a lot. I have a lot of questions that are coming to mind and things that are coming to mind as
I'm so down to answer, man.
Man, I'm gonna let Lesley into the room and then we're back in and then maybe talk more about like how we, I think, digest all of this because we've heard a lot of things and it's nerve-wracking and all that stuff. But I'm gonna let her in the room just now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Where'd she go? Lesley. Yo, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm here. We're on the 3rd episode of Quarantakes. Just
Oh, can you see me? Oh, you can't see
talking
me.
about things. Yes, Lesley. Pull up. Yes. The one and only. What are you doing?
Absolutely nothing.
Lit. Yeah, that's definitely we're all on the same wave when it comes to doing nothing. But
your Nike boxes in the back.
Yeah.
I did a video the other day and I haven't moved them back yet. Like last week? Something like that.
It's okay. It's a flex thing. It's flex.
Well, welcome to the 3rd episode of Quarantakes. Thanks for taking time out of your day to hang with us. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Yes.
Like the deep, full introduction or
Just everything. We're chilling.
my name's Lesley Ann Paris. I am the founder of Empathy and Me, which is a social enterprise focused on helping people heal from trauma through storytelling, community events, which obviously can't happen right now, and self-care products. So I make all natural candles, bath soaks, and sprays.
That's dope.
Yes.
Awesome.
Jeez.
Awesome. I was actually looking at that soy candle the other night. I'm like, look at those soy candles still. See, little. Oh my god! But Lesley Lesley's been like really working. I'm inspired. Like, to be honest, talking to Lesley in the beginning of the quarantine has literally inspired me to do some of the things